everyone, and welcome back to the Astral Tourist Podcast. Today's episode is Astral Projection Glitches and what to do when your hand won't load or render in the astral. 404 error here, hand not found. So this week was a bit of a tease for me. I had a lot of false awakening episodes this week, unfortunately. And yeah, sometimes the best of us go through all of this too. So, it's just, practice and these things pass. So I'll get into it here. I didn't even set an intention to astral project this one particular night during the course of the week. I was just laying there feeling annoyed that sleep wasn't coming. And sometimes when that happens to me, I do a quick reality check anyway, because sometimes I do want to astral project. And I'll find that my body's already fallen asleep and my mind is there awake anyway, whether I intended it to be or not. So I raised my left arm and immediately hit a glitch. Instead of my usual purple top that I wear, that I've been wearing to bed, my arm was glowing white with a beautiful silk sleeve and blue flowers. It was beautiful, absolutely stunning, but my left hand was entirely missing. Oops. Now, for those just starting out, when these types of things happen, don't panic. This is basically an astral rendering error. Your consciousness is halfway between worlds and your mind hasn't fully loaded, the subtle body rendering yet. I just had a laugh about it. I was like, whoa, that's so beautiful. And then no hand. But the night kept looping. I'd wake up, become lucid, I should say, into darker, eerie versions of my bedroom with a dull orange light, like very low energy, very glitchy. And normally the bedroom has, plenty of night from the night lights. I forgot to turn off the TV and there's the light from that. There's lights coming through the window from the street lights outside. So when it gets all dingy like that, I know already, it's just another false awakening. So after a few rounds of this, I decided to go ahead and try an astral projection because it's the perfect time to when you're in sleep paralysis like that. And I tried float, which is another reality check you can do. If you float up in the air, well, there you go. And that worked. And I was able to get a little bit of distance between me and my physical body. But I kept getting pulled back, and I already know the reason was because I was feeling low on energy, and that's why I hadn't even intended to astral project that night. So this is all going on during the course of one night. So, this has happened numerous times in this night. I tried turning over. I tried lifting my head with the head lift to check the time. I'm getting to that, I guess. I'm getting ahead of myself. But things went from weird to straight up bizarre. I woke up, quote unquote, again, and this time it felt super physical. The bedroom was larger, though, and much better decorated than mine currently is. And I was sure at the same time, because I wasn't fully lucid, it was like dream logic that I was sure that I was home because it felt so physical. But I also knew something was off with the large bedroom. And so all of these thoughts were going through my mind at once. And I had hit what I sometimes call the onion effect. Think of your consciousness like a Russian nesting doll. I had peeled back the glitchy room layer only to find myself inside another astral body. I realized I had become lucid and quote unquote woken up in a doppelgänger version. And I was inside her, which is why it felt so physical. So she was thinner than I am. She had darker hair and she was sitting cross-legged in a meditative state. It was so surreal. I was using 360-degree vision from inside her to try and see my own self, and just looking around the room. And it's a bit frustrating when you want to go fly around and have some fun, or just have a quiet night, and you're stuck playing IT tech for your own consciousness. It was so trippy, and now I can, laugh about it. And I wasn't really even upset at the time. And you shouldn't get upset at the time. I mean, this kind of thing happens from time to time, and it's just, I just go on. So here is some gold for you, the Toolkit, your hard reset guide to get out of these loops. So here are the tools to get out of the loops and the glitches that happen. So the time check. During one of these episodes, I looked at my clock in the bedroom. In the astral, time is a suggestion more than anything. And the clock said something after 8 a.m. I think it said 8:16 or something like that. When I knew it couldn't be like more than 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. tops. So again, the head lift method. Try to lift only your vision off the pillow without moving your physical muscles. I have a whole how-to on the head lift method. And for me, it's just a tiny twitch that works. And different people have different success with slightly different methods. But if you're interested in the head lift method, that's been a popular video. It's in my how-to section of, in the playlist. And so if you feel weightless and you can't feel your neck and, you do another reality check, like look at the clock, and there you go. You'll have 2 reality checks already done. And the Vocal Reboot. This is the next one. This is the force quit button. So I made the firm intention to speak using my vocal cords, not just a telepath. And I was trying to move or shout. I don't really mean shout, though. I mean like just a really strong intention to utter a phrase. Sometimes I just do or try to sing like ah, and move my mouth and my jaw. But really, I think the trigger for actually waking yourself up is like deep in the vocal cords. It's like right there in the neck chakra. So, it's a hard reboot for the brain. It snaps you back into your physical body. Now, sometimes for me, it takes me a while if I've been in these loops for a lot of the night, but it works. Another one that works is wiggling my toes or thinking, oh, I have the worst itch, but it's right inside on the top of my eyelashes. And I'm like trying to get my hand over there. But really, I think the vocal method is one of the strongest. And I would recommend that one maybe before using the others. But, why not give everything a go? So to recap, your reboots are checking the time. The head lift method, where you twitch your head and see where you're at. You can try to float out if you're actually trying to astral project. Give it a go. And even if you're not trying to float out with that head lift, at least you can see if you're having a false awakening or if your mind is awake. And the vocal reboot is actually getting yourself to fully wake up. Also, I want to put out there that, having low energy like this isn't always like a sign of negativity. Sometimes it's just, you got to rest, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong at all with that. Not everything means something is negative. So this wasn't a week of grand adventures, but it was a masterclass in astral practice. Sometimes the trip is a grand tour, and sometimes you're just troubleshooting the software. So if you ever experienced the onion effect / Russian nesting doll, or found yourself missing a limb in the astral, let me know in the comments. Sometimes when I look, I've got a whole leg gone, and I get out kind of misty anyway. But it's uncommon for me to just actually be missing a whole limb or something. But when I do, I find it pretty funny. Other times I have clothing that's glowing on, but only on one hand or the other, or I'm missing a shoe. So I just think it's funny, but I know it bothers some people, and I just want to reassure you, you don't have to assign such a weight to it. It can just be a joke. It's okay. Until next time, happy astral travels.